Good morning, dear people of the internet, and welcome to a new video in which we are grateful, we are courageous, and we are brave to be here on Earth. Please stay, I know that was a little bit awkward and weird, but I swear it's relevant to today's topics, which is the Gratitude Cafe in Los Angeles. I've never been to LA, but I learned about this from a friend that sent me this parody video that was on Tumblr for some reason.
You're going to love this place. The food is literally so edible. There's so many plants. Hello, welcome to La. Can I get you both started with a glass of our dazzling condensation? I'll just have a glass of water. Okay, that's literally what I just said. Could we actually get like a small plate of gratitude for the table with like a tiny side of the eclectic aioli? That sounds positively scrummy. What's a plate of gratitude? It's somebody's first time, huh? Yeah, sorry. You should be. Oh. It's bread and butter. Did you not study the menu before you came? No, I thought we would just be eating food. We don't serve food here at La. We serve experiences. I'm so confused. Sir, if you don't tone down the hostile energy, we're gonna have to ask you to leave. Wait, the hostile salad actually sounds incredible. What is that? Stupid twink. It's a Caesar salad. I'll have the, community? Of course you will. I don't even know what I just ordered. Here's your gratitude.
I thought this was just a funny skit, but no, it's a painfully accurate parody of an actually existing restaurant. And it's not just a restaurant, they are playing into all the delusional things wellness influencers are saying. They might be slightly racist, and for some reason they are giving away labubus. Yes, I don't understand that either, so we'll dive into it and see how that works. Before we get started though, I'm trying to grow my channel on here in the very delusional hope that it can help me pay a little bit for college. I know it's very delusional, but you can help me for free with that by subscribing and watching my videos, which would make my delusional dream maybe come true. And also I love videos and I would like to keep doing this after college too. So that would be very great. Thank you for doing that. You can also check out my shop if you want to. There's also print scenes and whatever, but also cute crochet plushies. And now let's get started. Parody videos are fun, but not very scientific, so let's watch a video that actually is from someone that went to eat there.
Let me take you to Cafe Gratitude. Hey, it's Peter. Whether it's with friends, family, or on a solo date, Cafe Gratitude offers the most amazing vibes. Not only is the food, service, and environment incredible, but every time I visit, I am reminded of my own gratitude. I'm truly thankful for everyone who has taken the time to share and watch my videos. If you are looking to fill your happy little soul, I am delectable, I am abundant, and I am transformed are items you should try. Cafe Gratitude is located in Venice, California, and they have a happy hour from 4 to 7 p.m. on the weekdays.
Now, I'm not gonna lie and say that that food didn't look great, because it did look very fantastic. This food is not my problem. However, I did get a little confused when this guy said, I am delectable, I am abundant, and I am transformed. He didn't even say what he transformed into. Maybe he's a transformer, we'll never know. But anyways, that was a little random, so it was a little bit confusing to me. But it turns out that these are actually the names of menu items at this cafe, including the I am, which requires you to basically make a positive affirmation every time you want to order anything at this restaurant. I like the idea of positive affirmations. I know they are very helpful to people, but I think that the wellness community has a little bit too much toxic positivity and delusion going on too. But I guess it helped the creator of this video, so that's a good thing. I will get back to this point a little later in this video, because it gets a little hypocritical at some point. Anyway, this restaurant is trying to be so positive that I question how they see their employees. Luckily, they have a whole page on their website dedicated to that. They have a section first about Cafe Gratitude. It reads, we live by a set of principles and values that guide us each day and set us apart. With them, we are able to provide our employees with a work environment where love and gratitude are the stars that guide us, creating an experience unlike any other we know of. And that is our goal. After all, we are not just in the restaurant business, we are in the business of developing people. I've never want to be developed by any restaurant I either worked at or just ate at, but okay, if you want that, that's fine. It's just not my cup of tea. Of all the successes we found, we're the most proud of the lives that have been changed through our communities and culture. I also don't think that any restaurant has ever changed my life, but maybe that's kind of the point, because they're not a normal restaurant, I guess. The next session is called Sacred Commerce. There's a list of their principles, and sacred commerce is one of them, whatever that means. How commerce can be sacred, I don't know. Anyways, for most businesses, employees are expected to leave their baggage at home home and come to work and do their jobs. Personal growth is not often an item in a company's benefit package. No, because you cannot promise that. Sacred commerce is our belief that a functioning business can also be a place of empowerment. It's a model that's been practiced since the first Café Gratitude opened its doors. Sacred commerce is our way of business, and we have found that our employees, we refer to them as our advocates, who feel heard and appreciated, are more productive. They start work feeling acknowledged, and they bring that experience into their shift, pass it on to their customers, and then take it with them into their lives. For us, love is a contagious way of being. I think calling your employees advocates is an example of toxic positivity, because in whatever way you turn it, they are still employees. They still go into work and do their work and are expected to do their work, otherwise they don't get paid or they get fired probably. I would assume that you cannot just stand around because you're having a bad day here and still have a job the next day. It's a great idea to listen to your employees, but changing the word employee to advocate won't help you doing that. And I also feel like the word advocate might hold the pressure of being an advocate for the place you work at, or just have a very positive attitude all the time, may make the pressure way too high, which kind of contradicts the listening to your employees thing. Of course, you want your employees to have a positive attitude and bring out the values of the place you work at to the people that come in, but everyone can have a bad day sometimes, which is very okay. And the word advocate would make me very guilty about having a bad day at all. The next step on this website is gratitude, but it's empty, like the entire name of the restaurant is gratitude. Maybe they wanted to speak for itself or something, I don't know. The next principle is acceptance. It reads, humans are social creatures. We all want to be part of a group that appreciates us and finds value in our presence. We all want to belong. That's the environment we provide for our advocates as well as our customers. Acknowledgement is the currency of our community. I can agree with this, but I don't feel like it's necessary to say. But that might also just be the time we live in nowadays. Then we have the abundance tab. Abundance is noticing that we are provided for now. We live in a world that believes happiness is a result of material accomplishments, which leaves us always wanting more. Abundance is the practice of choosing to be fulfilled now, allowing us to achieve happiness no matter the circumstance. Please remember this. It becomes very important later on in the video. Then we have fresh. Our food is not just farm to table, it's as close as to the farm as possible, resulting in nutrient-dense, satisfying meals. Then we have regenerative. We strive to make our world regenerative. We do our part by sourcing our food from local farms that are working with soil building practices. By purchasing organic ingredients and excluding animal products and processed food from our menu, we are doing what we can to offset the harmful effects of industrial agriculture. Then we have choice. We cannot fully choose our circumstances, but we can choose how we respond to them. For us, that choice is always based in love. This is kind of weird to put on a restaurant website. Like, remember, we are still on a cafe website, not on your next yoga girls website. This idea of choosing love is also rooted in toxic positivity, if you ask me, because it makes it sound like you can choose your emotions and choose love over being angry or sad, for example, which you can't. Emotions are not a choice. You're allowed to be sad or angry or whatever. It's just how you deal with it, and that doesn't always have to be love. You can just be sad for a while and hate that you're sad too, as long as you don't go throwing rocks at people. That's totally fine, you know? You are allowed to be sad and angry, and you don't have to love everything and choose love and love. Yeah, okay. And again, it's not a TikTok coach's website, it's a restaurant's website. Okay, there's one more tab. It reads, love is at the center of all we do. Our food is made with love for our bodies and for the earth. Our business is run with love for our advocates, our customers, our vendors, and our community. We all want to love and be loved, and our goal is to put more love out there so we can connect with and appreciate every person we meet. These are all mostly very nice ideas, and I think they are great in the beginning, but the wording could be a bit different and leave the toxic positivity out of it, I feel like. Anyhow, now we know too much about the semi-delusional values of this place. So when I was editing this video, I came across the Wikipedia page, which had an entire section on controversies of this place, and I know I should have come across that earlier, but I didn't. So here we are, and this moment in the video is great because we now know all the values of this restaurant and what I think about those. And now I'm going through these controversies with you that happened in the past, and then we go on to what I think is happening or what I see happening right now, because the current problems didn't make it to this page yet. First, we have a thing in 2009 where they wanted their employees to take a seminar that would cost $1,000. The restaurant was only going to cover half of that. So they were like, yes, we want you to take the seminar. It's gonna cost you $500, which is a lot of money. And reportedly, employees were denied promotion if they didn't go to the seminar. And when a manager spoke up about this, he was allegedly fired when he spoke critically about this plan. I don't think this is helpful for the development of your employees, which they say is very important for them. Of course, taking a seminar is important for development for employees, but making them pay for it, if it's so much money especially, is not helpful for the development of your employees. Secondly, the owners of this fully vegan cafe, which is important to them, as they say on the website, were apparently running a farm where they also raised cattle for their own meat. And this farm also supplied a lot of food to the restaurant. This was in 2016 and people were mad about this, understandably so, because you cannot be like, oh, our values is to not kill animals and whatever, and then raise meat to kill. Of course, raising meat on your own private farm is probably going to be better because it's probably not always, I'm not sure, I wasn't there, but most likely it's smaller scale and the animals will have more freedom. But if you say that you're against that, you shouldn't raise animals for meat because that goes against your own values. So I understand that people were mad about that. Thirdly, at a location that closed down in 2023, there was this manager who would let his friends and himself have the best shifts. And when the employees brought it up to the owner, the employees were fired instead of the managers, allegedly. The reason we know this is because these employees that were fired called for a boycott of this gratitude cafe when this happened in 2021. Now, you can say that this is all in the past, but it's important to know that they had controversies in the past, and when they happen in the past, you can of course learn from them, and maybe they have, but I don't think they have learned enough from them, because now we are going to some things that I think that they should add to this page. And no worries, they are going from bad to worse in the rest of this video. We should really take a look at the menu because there are some interesting things going on there, besides all dishes being named after an affirmation. Specifically in the sandwiches and wrap section. The first thing on there is called I am aloha, which is a little weird. Now, first I thought, because I'm uncultured, that aloha was simply a greeting, but it turns out that it isn't simply a greeting. The word also has a deeper meaning of love, peace, and compassion. But also the entire rest of the menu, except for a few exceptions, which we'll get to, is entirely in English. So it's kind of weird to put the word aloha here, only because it's a Hawaiian dish. Especially because they don't provide more context, so I feel it's not really justified to use that word here. They do this again with the I am Kansha menu item, and I feel like less people that would visit this restaurant would know the meaning of the Japanese word Kansha than they would know the meaning of the Hawaiian word aloha even. Not that that justifies the word aloha here, but I feel like less people would speak Japanese than know that one Hawaiian word that everyone probably has heard of by now. I looked it up, and Kansha is, I'm probably pronouncing all these words wrong by the way, but anyways, Kansha is the Japanese word for gratitude. Now, I looked on the menu and there's no other menu item called I am gratitude or grateful or I'm thankful or I am appreciative. There's an I am appreciated, but that's towards yourself and not towards the outside, which is implied with using the word kansha here, if I get the context right. So they could have just put that down there in English without creating problems. Now, it gets even wilder with the Josoi Fuerza and the Josoi Alma items on the menu, because suddenly the entire sentence is in Spanish, which makes it weird that the Japanese and the Hawaiian things only had one word in their respective languages and not the entire sentence. But with the Mexican items, it's suddenly okay to use the entire sentence. Like, I understand that more American people speak Spanish than they do Japanese or Hawaiian, but still, it's very, very weird. All of this language juggling felt a little weird to me until I got to the pizza side of the menu. We know now that the person that made this menu is very proficient in the use of Google Translate, but the entire pizza section is in English, without any Italian words, except for the words pizza and margarita, but that's different. Why is it okay to use a Hawaiian word and a Japanese word and a Spanish sentence, Mexican Spanish might I add, but why isn't it okay to use an Italian word? To be clear, the entire menu should just be in English, but only using or borrowing or stealing, I guess, words from cultures that have been oppressed and othered and exoticized over time, but then to choose to not use a word from a white Italian language, and then the Italians were also part of the colonization problem in the past a lot, is a choice. A bad choice. It's racist. Because the other thing is, in order to respect the language in this way, you need to have a contextual understanding of the language, and I refuse to believe that the person that made this menu is fluent or proficient enough to do this in English, Hawaiian, Japanese, and Spanish. Maybe they are, but then I still wouldn't have made this choice because the people reading the menu certainly are not. I am not. I don't understand the meaning of the word aloha, as I explained, in the context of Hawaiian language and culture. The next thing on this menu that stands out to me is a collab with a person called the medical medium. I want to show you a video of him.
There's no science or research that can actually prove the autoimmune theory, okay? That's how it works. You can look all you want, they'll still say your body's attacking itself, and they'll talk about an autoantibody, but they can never find that autoantibody causing harm. It's not possible. It's still a complete and total theory, a farce actually. It's basically a ruse played on you, and I'll tell you why. It's to train you that you have a faulty body, that your sickness is your fault. It's not a pathogen, it's not the Epstein-Barr virus, it's not this, it's not that. The industry doesn't want you knowing these truths. The industry doesn't want you knowing any of that. The industry wants to keep you sick. That's how the money machine works. You've heard of that, right? Well, it's like that with autoimmune, the theory. So this is how it works. There's no science or research that can actually prove the autoimmune theory, okay? That's how it works. You can look all you want, they'll still say your body's attacking itself, and they'll talk about an autoantibody, but they can never find that autoantibody causing harm. It's not possible. It's still a complete and total theory, a farce actually. It's basically a ruse played on you, and I'll tell you why. It's to train you that you have a faulty body, that your sickness is your fault. It's not a pathogen, it's not the Epstein-Barr virus, it's not this, it's not that. The industry doesn't want you knowing these truths. The industry doesn't want you knowing any of that. The industry wants to keep you sick. That's how the money machine works. You've heard of that, right? Well, it's like that with autoimmune, the theory.
They've indeed chosen to work with someone who is not a doctor, who has chosen to spread lies about autoimmune disease on the internet. Like, he says that they're not real. To be clear, examples of autoimmune diseases are celiac disease, type 1 diabetes, and psoriasis, among a lot of other things. A lot of things that you have to believe in order to survive, if you have them. Also, a lot of things in which you have to trust other people, for example, restaurant chefs, in order to survive again. Because if you've celiac disease and they feed you gluten, at some point you will get very sick at the very least. Which makes it even more interesting that this entire menu that they made with this guy is gluten-free, meaning that it's safe for people with celiac disease who cannot eat gluten. The question I have here is, why make this menu gluten-free if you don't believe that some bodies of some people randomly attack gluten cells, while gluten is, for most people that don't have celiac disease or any gluten sensitivity, mostly just safe to eat. It's very hypocritical, and choosing to work with someone that spreads medical misinformation online is just a very bad choice. There is one more thing that we have to talk about regarding this gratitude cafe, which is the confused feeling I got when I saw this TikTok, which is made by the gratitude cafe people.
I just got a labubu at Cafe Gratitude. Yeah, you heard that right. They just launched I Am Energetic, the $100 Happy Healthy Meal, and it comes with one of the 100% authentic Pop Mart collectible labubus from the Big Into Energy series. Each one is tied to a positive affirmation. You can choose I am love, I am hope, I am loyalty, I am luck, I am happiness, I am serenity, or go all in with the mystery blind box with the chance to open the secret labubu. Here's what's in the meal. The exclusive organic plant-based double classic cheeseburger, only available with this meal. House-made fries, a Junie sparkling adaptogenic tea, a $20 gift card to Cafe Gratitude, and of course, your Big Into Energy Labubu blind box, verified with a Pop Mart QR code. No lafufus here. And this is the Labubu I chose. I Am Happiness. Finally, got my hands on one from this series, and I can't wait to collect all 6 and hopefully pull the secret. And the best part, you're giving back to a great cause. A portion of the proceeds goes to the Los Angeles Regional Food Bank supporting the Kids Cafe program, which provides healthy meals and after-school care for children in underserved communities. Quantities are limited, so make sure you're the first in line to secure your pickup order while supplies last.
Again, the food looks absolutely amazing, but I would feel so very weird paying for a menu, which then gives me free, because I paid for it, gift card to the same restaurant. And even more confusing, the elephant in the room, the Labubu. It's great that they donate money to a charity that's trying to do such great things, providing children with healthy food and a place to be. But if you don't give people the Labubu, you can donate more money to this organization or help more people. And the entire construction of the Labubu situation, like I talked about that in my video from last week too, if you want to watch that, it goes a little bit more in depth about this. But it goes against almost all the values of this restaurant. For example, Labubus are bought by people who want to belong and who want to be popular. Being popular is a thing that's just very toxic in a lot of situations, like popularity in general. And also, Labubus are made out of plastic and shipped over from China, and you make a point about getting all vegan food from nearby farms so to not pollute the world so much. What do you think happens when you buy a Labubu that has to be shipped in from China with a plane and is made from plastic, which first of all is very hard to decompose when they inevitably end up in the landfill, like almost all of them, and secondly, plastic is made from toxic oils and such. Labubus are not made in the same way as your organic food from the nearby farm. Overconsumption, because Labubus and the entire construction around them and everyone wanting them and whatever is overconsumption, and caring for the world just don't go together. I think this restaurant shows a lot that internet culture is seeping through in real life, and that's not always a great thing. Sometimes it is, but a lot of the times it also isn't. And what I miss a lot on the internet is common logic, and I also miss this logic in this restaurant, because on one hand they're trying to care for the world and care for our bodies and all that kind of stuff, and on the other hand they work together with people that spread medical lies on the internet. They spread a lot of toxic positivity, and they play into trends that are a big problem in regards of overconsumption. So that doesn't make sense to me. Maybe I would go there if they would stop with the Labubus and focus more on foods and making choices that actually make sense, because please change the menu to all English, please. Thank you. Anyway, let me know what you think and if you would go there. Thank you for watching my video. If you like my little video, please press those wonderful shiny like and subscribe buttons, and then I will see you next time. Ciao!